All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Monday Night Showdown Brodown edition. We got Breeze and Herbert shooting it out. Drew Brees playing at home, bit of a noodle arm, averaging around 7 yards per attempt, not really throwing the ball downfield. Without his star wide receiver, who makes him look oh so good, Michael Thomas. Also, we have some questionable. We'll have to pay attention. We're not quite there yet. Both Williams on the receiving core of the Chargers and Clippers, and Jared Cook Jr., the tight end, who looks to see a huge amount of target share with no Michael Thomas, are both questionable. Looks like they're both going to play, but we will not know for 90 minutes before lock. This video is out pretty late. Thanks. Shout out Xfinity. My internet was down all day. Super helpful for me today. I had a lot of shit I needed to get done, so I'm going to go into the fucking coffee shop, but I'm not going to record a video there. Let's take a look. We got Breeze at 10-4 on FanDuel, or DraftKings, excuse me. And then we got Herbert at 10-2. Either's fine. Obviously on DraftKings, you get that 1.5 times boost to the cost and the output at captain spot. Probably not playing much quarterback in the captain spot. Neither of these guys are great. Honestly, if I were to play one, it would be Herbert because of his rushing upside. But frankly, I don't know that that's going to be the case today. Playing on the road, I think he's going to throw the ball a lot. Either is fine. It just depends on how you want to build your stacks. I'm probably not going to put both in any lineups on DraftKings, maybe on FanDuel, although I played around with some builds and it doesn't look to be good. Shout out FanDuel. They knew 2 hours before lock yesterday that they weren't going to be able to display anything all day. Not going to let you late swap. They just took your money. There's a reason DraftKings dominates this industry. Those guys, man, that's not the first time they've done some shade ball shit like that. I remember that. Everyone remembers the bubble game where they had Porzingis in as starting with the check mark next to him. Then they locked lineups 30 minutes before tip-off, and then he was a late scratch, and you couldn't get him out of your lineup. Yeah, they need to do something over there different. All right, so for running backs, Alvin Kamara is going to be the number one play in the captain spot on both sites. He's going to be the highest owned guy, rightfully so. Without Michael Thomas, he's going to see a lot of targets on DraftKings. You get that full PPR. He is looking money, ready to go tonight. He does get very spendy, though, at 12K. You put him in that captain spot, now he's 18K. Limits the rest of your lineup construction. So that is one thing to kind of pay attention to. He's definitely okay to stack with a quarterback, even in the captain spot, because he's such a big receiving threat, and especially with Thomas out, you know he's going to get the ball a lot. Underneath, you got Kelly. Kelly, I don't know how I feel about this guy. He's fumbled a bunch. Jackson's picked up some more of the targets in the last one. There's a bit of a 60-40 thing going on between the two, so that kind of limits them both a bit. I do like Latavius Murray for value, especially if you want to get off of the Kamara chalk. If you think there's a good chance, these guys are game flow more. So like, if you think that New Orleans is going to be winning, it's fine to play them both in your lineup. Murray gets a lot of red zone touches. He's going to get the ball. He's going to run the ball 10 plus times a game. Obviously, he's still got some upside in the receiving game, especially on DK. That's nice. Not a terrible idea to play them both if you can. If you're just doing a lineup build that favors New Orleans winning. If they're playing from behind, he's a little less viable. Jackson, more of the third down type receiving back, but there are plenty of scenarios where Kelly fumbles the ball again. He gets sat for Jackson. So we'll have to see how that plays out with no Eckler. Moving on to wide receiver. Up top, Keenan Allen. Everybody's worried about the matchup. He's playing the slot. He's got a great matchup. It's Williams that's going to have to deal with some aggro, and that's if he plays. We'll have to see what happens here. He's been training. He's been practicing. Keenan Allen and Hunter Henry, really the two pass catchers I'm going to be stacking on that side with their quarterback. Right below him, you got Traquan Smith. Looking to be a more and more trusted target by Breeze with no Thomas out. He'll probably get the lion's share of the wide receiver targets. Sanders hasn't been doing much this year. Not to say he can't go off, but if you look at his target share, 9, 5, and 3, looking pretty good. The only difference is that it looks like Smith is sucking up a lot of the red zone targets. He's a bigger body, more of that type of receiver. He also has a lot of speed on the outside. At this point in his career, Sanders, lost his step. Still pretty quick, but more of a find the soft spot in the zone on a crosser kind of receiver. Pay attention to Williams. He goes out. Guyton looks to be a much better play. He plays. That is too much money for Jalen Guyton. And same thing with Johnson. You're going to need to find some value on here. There's not a lot unless there's an injury. It's getting tough. On DraftKings, obviously, you got all these real cheap guys. But it's really dependent on what happens. They're seeing Fowler, honestly, for a really cheap dart throw, might not be a bad play depending on injury news. We'll have to wait until 90 minutes before lock, pay attention to Twitter, and all that kind of stuff. Moving on to tight end. Yeah, Fowler can at least get some separation. He was on the Giants last year. They've had him active, I think, for the last few weeks. I don't know that he's gotten on the field yet, though. Henry at top, obviously the number one tight end choice. He's going to receive a lot of targets. He's got a very favorable matchup this week, so I definitely like him. I'll have him in all my lineups. I like him for captain, too. If you're trying to save some money, you want to do a Hubert stack with his QB. Not a bad play on DraftKings. Jared Cook right below, hell of a target. It's just the injury. He's got a groin injury, I think is what it was. It looked like he was trending towards playing. With Michael Thomas out, it's going to be the Jared Cook Jr. and Kamara kind of show for Breeze, I think. If Cook's out, that bumps Traquan Smith up a lot, in my opinion. Bumps Manny Sanders up, and then you can kind of go for some value below. A lot of people will be on this Parham guy. They elevated from, I think he was an XFL cat. He caught a touchdown last week, but that was like the only target he's ever gotten. That's on the Chargers side. On the New Orleans side, Trotman, I guess, would kind of be his counterpart there. I like Josh Hill a little bit more, though. I might take a stab at Hill. You're going to need to find some value somewhere. Josh Hill, that is. Taysom Hill, not nearly as good as he was last year with respect to his red zone presence. He hasn't really gotten in the end zone. You can see, 3 rushes, 2 rushes, 2 rushes, 1 target, 1 target. Not really throwing him out. I might still play around with him. He's a red zone opportunity guy, but if he doesn't get you that touchdown, either passing or receiving or rushing or however it is, you're wasting a chunk of change there. And he really hasn't done it yet. Although, maybe this is the week. Maybe he's going to regress towards the mean, and this will be the week he finds the end zone. We'll have to see. That's why we play. Kickers are in play. I wouldn't play with defenses. Only 1 kicker per lineup on DraftKings. Don't be an asshole and put him in your fucking captain spot. That's not going to work. I don't think defenses are going to be in play this week on DK. I just don't see either of these teams getting stops. I think the Chargers could probably get some sacks and what have you. But there's other ways to. At the price these things are priced at, you might as well pay for a kicker. I think you wind up getting, if you're gonna put that one defense in, you might as well just pay for their kicker, because I think that'll probably put out about the same amount of points, if not more. All right, let's go to the lineup optimizer here. Let's take a look. Hope everybody's Sunday slate was good. It was kind of tough with Matty Ryan and shit and Dak Prescott. That was a terrible injury. My heart goes out to the guy. What are you going to do? Let's fucking move on. Alright, so, why the fuck do I have Easton sticking here? What in the actual fuck are we doing? He's not even in my player pool. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Alright, so, for this lineup, you got Cook and Captain, Herbert, Guyton, and Allen. So, yeah, with Breeze and Murray, this is not a bad lineup type, play, I guess. If, in fact, Williams goes out, you are fading 2 of the better players on the slate. But, it's not a bad fade to fade an expensive Kamara and get Latavius Murray in there. you're kind of telling a story of like, okay, they're playing from ahead, so they're going to hand the ball off more to Murray, kill a clock, and he falls in the end zone instead of Kamara. And then Breeze, so you're capturing all the touchdown upside with Breeze and running back. I don't like the 2 quarterback build for DraftKings, but this isn't a terrible thing. I bet this projects out to a decent value. Let's look at FanDuel. FanDuel is a lot more of a. Oh, we do a single. FanDuel is a lot better for playing 2 quarterbacks. Although I was building lineups and I did not need to do that this week. Yeah, single game. There it is. All right. At top, you got your target monster. Makes sense. You're not paying the double. Kamara, that's how I was building a lot of stuff. You got Herbert in there. What the fuck? We ain't doing no Michael Bell. This is what happens when you don't. Yeah, no. Give me some Hunter Henry right there. Breeze. I don't know about Parnham Jr. I think maybe we go to somebody like either Trotman as a backup tight end or Hill, or take a shot at Fowler. It's harder on FanDuel. You don't get the value you get on some of these other sites. Maybe we just get rid of Breeze altogether and put Keenan Allen in there. That's a good build right there. Something like that. Can we move up from Hill? Yes, we can. Oh, boy. I think maybe we go with like a Justin Jackson, something like that. That's not terrible. You get the running game captured in there. It's a passing game and both with Kamara. That's how she plays. Good luck tonight, everybody. Just try to be smart about how you build your lineup, but also try to be a little unique. Leave a little money on the table. Differentiate yourself so you're not holding hands with everybody. It happens. I mean, I've won probably a dozen GPPs where I was tied with a bunch of people and I only got, $100-something back on my $5 or whatever it was instead of like thousands. It's a bummer, but it's better than nothing. But every now and again you see in a slate, there's one guy who has about the same lineup as everybody else, but just this one little pivot, and he's got a quarter of a fantasy point more, and he gets the whole thing. And that's who you want to be. Thanks again, everybody. Please like, subscribe, comment, all those things. Help a lot, especially the thumbs up. We'll see you next time.